Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Activities for People Living at Home with Dementia. My name is Gail Snyder. I'm the Executive Director for Dementia Friendly Fort Worth, and we are proud to offer this program with funding from the Area Agency on Aging and United Way of Tarrant County. These programs are recorded and are made available for future use through a YouTube channel. And today is Cookie Conversations, and I will be your host. And back by popular demand, we are making ginger snap cookies.
Yay.
Yay.
So
Yay.
have the recipe.
Snap to it, guys.
I have the recipe here on your screen, but I'll minimize that in just a moment so you'll be able to see better what's going on in the kitchen.
Sure.
And I will send this out by email so that if you'd like to try these at home, you'll have the recipe to do so.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Yummy.
All right, let's get started. So the first thing in our recipe is 3/4 cup of shortening.
Calorie free, of course.
Calorie free, of course. That's hard to do with shortening, I think.
I didn't know anybody still used shortening.
There are some recipes that still call for it.
Let's
What
still
was
sell it in
that?
the store.
What was that song about shortening bread?
Oh,
Yes, I know that song.
Shortening, shortening, shortening bread. Da, 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 da,
Yeah.
da, da. Something like that, I think.
yeah, something like that.
Was it an advertisement?
No, it was a real song.
It was a real song, yeah.
One of those little kind of nursery rhyme type songs.
Yes.
My mother-in-law used to sing that song to the kids all the time.
There you go.
Mama's little baby loves shortening bread.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, exactly. Mama's little baby loves shortening.
Okay.
Shortening. Mama's
Okay.
little baby loves shortening.
Yes. Yes.
All
That
right.
ought to scare you all away. Don't leave. Don't.
Myra came up with it too. Mom's little baby loves shortening, shortening. Mom's little baby loves shortening, shortening. Mom's little baby loves shortening, shortening. What's the last? What's the last?
Mama's little baby loves shortening.
Shortening bread.
All right, so we're going to put in our 3/4 cup of shortening into the mixer.
Oh.
And then we need a cup of sugar. It's regular sugar this time. Can you all see okay?
Yes.
Perfectly.
Cup of sugar. And then we need 4 tablespoons of molasses. And I made a batch of these last night to work ahead, and I got a little too much molasses in them, and so they turned out a little bit flat.
Oh.
Remember that song, Molasses, Molasses, that icky, sticky goo, Molasses, Molasses. I hope it sticks to you.
I've never heard that.
No.
Oh, we used to sing it a lot when I was younger.
My grandfather always ate molasses with his biscuits.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to pour that 4 tablespoons of molasses into the batter. My husband's family used to make popcorn balls, and they used molasses. Now, can anybody tell me what the molasses smells like?
It smells sweet.
It smells sweet.
Is it saffron? No.
I'm not sure, but it has a distinct smell, different than syrup.
Oh, yeah. Very definitive smell and taste.
And then we're
But
going to add 1 egg. And I'm still getting my farm fresh eggs.
Good.
Yeah, my daughter's got chickens. She's got all kinds of eggs out in California where she is.
We're going to mix that together. And while we do that, I'm going to mix the dry ingredients in a separate bowl. And we need 2 cups of flour.
I don't know how you do that without making a mess. I don't know how you do that without making a mess.
I worked real hard at that. Okay, and then we need 2 teaspoons of baking soda.
I always thought the term baking soda was interesting because you usually don't bake your soda. And I always thought it was an interesting name to give anything was baking soda.
And then we need a teaspoon each of cinnamon, ginger, and cloves.
The perfect trio.
The perfect trio.
I'm surprised it doesn't have more ginger than the other stuff.
You know, that is surprising, but ginger can be a little bit strong. And cloves
True.
also can be.
Oh, that's for sure.
Start with the ginger. Ginger has a little kick to it. Have any of you ever noticed that?
What it has what
Oh,
to it?
yeah.
A kick.
Eat fresh ginger, it kind of has a kick to it.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
it
yeah.
does.
I tried to kick it back, but it got out of the way.
Okay, added those in with the flour. And then I'm going to stir that together so that it distributes evenly within the rest of the batter. Now, that's all the ingredients to this cookie,
Excellent.
which makes it a pretty simple cookie to make. Oh, there's Dusty.
Hey, Dusty.
Hey,
Morning.
my mouth won't work.
Morning, Dusty. It's good to see you.
Well, I'm
Good.
glad you were able to get it going. So now the trick is to add this flour without slinging it all over and making that mess Janine wants me to make.
I didn't say I wanted you to make a mess.
Would y'all like for me to read you something about the difference between molasses and sugar?
Sure.
Yeah.
Why not? Okay. Traditionally, molasses is the syrup left over when cane or beet sugar is made into table sugar. But molasses today is often made by blending the syrup with a sugar solution, which ensures uniform quality. Blackstrap molasses is the only form with any nutritional pluses, notably iron, calcium, and potassium. So I'm wondering if it's the iron that we're smelling with molasses.
Maybe.
It could be.
Yeah,
See what this says on this bottle, if I can read it.
I love learning stuff like that.
Yeah.
Don't you, Woodstock?
Good morning, everybody. I had some computer issues, so sorry I'm
Hey,
late.
Steve, good morning.
Morning, Steve.
You're the third person that had computer problems. My camera was being flaky. Dusty had problems with his mouse. And now you've had computer issues too. Glad you could join us.
Thank you.
The computers are
Just
rebelling.
mixing in the flour in our cookie dough and trying not to throw the flour all over the kitchen.
It's
Good
no
thing you have a
fun.
tall bowl.
It's no fun. It's more fun if it all goes all over the place.
And then it decorates
That's right.
sparkling particles of flour.
That's right. It's a Christmas decoration.
That's right.
Yeah, it
Snowing.
looks like snow.
Knowing, that's right.
All right, so what do we smell besides molasses?
We'll spell the ginger,
Cinnamon.
cinnamon.
What was the third thing? Cloves?
Cloves.
Cloves. Oh, cloves.
And cloves is actually what I smell the most.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's all mixed together. I'm gonna bring it over so you can see it a little better.
Oh, it looks nice.
Your batter.
Oh, yum.
Oh,
That
it smells wonderful.
It does.
I just want to take a bite off your spoon there.
So,
no kidding.
so this batter looks better than the batter I made last night because, as I mentioned, I got too much molasses in it last night, and the batter wasn't as firm.
But did it stick to you? Molasses, molasses, that icky sticky goo, molasses, molasses. I hope it sticks to you. So did it stick to you is what we want to know. I'm misbehaving. I'm sorry. I
It
try
is
to behave.
very
I love
sticky.
it. Paulette, I love it.
Oh, thank
Those are the
you.
tunes that we need to pass along.
It is very sticky, and I mentioned that my father-in-law used to make popcorn balls with
Mhm.
molasses, and that was some sticky stuff.
Wow.
Ew.
Mm-hmm.
It's different than popcorn balls with corn syrup.
Yeah.
They made it with molasses and added baking soda to it, and when you stir the baking soda into it, you pour it over the popcorn, and then you stir it, and then they would put it in a bowl. Sometimes they formed it into a ball. And that was the Saturday night treat while they watched Lawrence Welk.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm using the scoop. It's a little bit bigger than I like these cookies, so I'm not filling it completely full, making small balls and rolling them in some granulated sugar.
Okay.
I place them on the baking sheet. And this is a nice size recipe because it doesn't make a tremendous amount. And that's good because if I make too many, then I eat.
Then you got to eat them all, right?
Yeah.
And that's not hard for me to do with ginger snaps because I like the dough as well as I like the cookies.
There you go.
Mhm.
I know that feeling.
When we used to bake cookies with my grandmother when we were little, she would sit us up on the kitchen counter and she would let us take the spoon and dip it into the cookie dough. And my grandpa would come in. My grandmother's name was Virginia, and he'd say, "Virginia, you ought not to let those girls eat that cookie dough out of the bowl." Stern, firm voice, but she let us anyway.
Well, I figured he wanted it instead of you girls getting it.
Yeah.
Didn't think she should let us eat it out of the bowl. That was back before the days when everybody said you couldn't eat raw eggs.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Mhm.
One of my father-in-law's ice cream recipe used raw eggs.
That's what
Well,
we
yeah.
did when
Yeah.
I was growing up.
Really good. You know, never had a problem.
Oh.
In the north, they cook their eggs before they make it. Because my husband's family, the first time they made homemade ice cream, I was like, what are you doing?
Right.
That's not how you make it. Okay, so over to the oven we go.
Wow.
Good.
Yes, they do.
We need a drum roll.
Oh, that's making me dizzy.
I've got them set on 325 so that they don't burn on the bottom. And we'll have some that are crispy and some that are chewy. And I'm going to set the timer for 8 minutes. And then we will go ahead and get another batch ready to go in the oven while those bake.
So is that parchment paper you're using to
Yes.
put them on?
Yes,
Okay.
That's wonderful stuff.
it is. And a while back, I had some that was folded sheets in a package.
Hmm.
And I really liked that, but the last time I went shopping, they didn't have it.
Oh,
That's right.
So I had to get it on a roll.
It's hard to get those rolled pieces to sit down.
Yes, you almost have to turn it upside down.
yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
How it was rolled, and then it'll lay down on the sheet okay.
Well, it costs more, but you can buy quarter sheet or half sheet, flat sheets of parchment.
Yes, where I used to go to church, they used to order that from a food supply company in the big, but it was for those great big baking sheets that restaurants
Wow.
and schools use.
Yeah.
Where's the program?
Well, you can get them as small as 13 by 9.
Oh, can you?
I'm
You
sorry?
can always cut them if you get the big ones.
I might have to look into that because I use quite a lot, and it's probably would be cheaper. As much as I use it, it would be cheaper to buy it.
Probably cheaper to buy the roll,
But I mean, in terms of buying the small quantity of the rolls at the grocery store,
Hmm.
it would probably be cheaper to buy the box of the flat sheets.
yeah, because I think they come as 100.
Yeah,
I guess you get more out of that than you would a roll, wouldn't you?
absolutely.
100 sheets would be more than you'd have on a roll.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm going to have to do some online shopping for that.
Amazon, here
Amazon,
you come.
there you go.
Amazon, yes.
I bought some unbleached parchment here a while back, and it's awful. I won't do that again.
You did what, Dusty?
I bought a roll of unbleached parchment,
Oh,
and it
Huh.
doesn't work good at all.
Good to know. I didn't know there were two kinds.
I didn't either.
So
Thank you, Dusty.
is it more like the brown paper that they use for wrapping fish and stuff like that?
Yeah, but it's probably different, but it's probably kind of about the same consistency, I think. It's a long time since I've seen a roll of brown paper.
You could use it to wrap Christmas gifts.
I'll send you my address.
My husband
yeah, so exciting.
gets Christmas gifts in newspaper.
Yeah, we did that too.
But
So
he-
many years, that's all we had. We couldn't afford wrapping paper overseas, so we just wrapped in whatever newspapers we had.
Mm-hmm.
We always tried to find the comic strip section.
Comics, yeah.
Yeah, the colored comics work best.
Mhm.
Well, the one thing about using like the brown paper, if you wrap, is you can use any color of bow you want.
Yeah.
You find all these cute, pretty wrapping papers, and then you can't find the right color of ribbon to go with the paper.
That's right.
Mhm.
To do big bows with the wire in them,
Yes.
suitcase full of ribbon, but I don't have paper to match.
Yeah.
So
Gail, I have probably 20 rolls of paper. You and I need to get together and mix and match.
that sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
All right, well, let's go over to the stove and take a peek at our cookies in the oven.
Excellent.
Wow.
We're a little bit over halfway through our time. And they're starting to spread out, but they're not there yet, but the size is going to be really good. So I'm going to bring the camera down so you can see inside the oven.
I closed my eyes while you were moving over there, and then
Yeah,
while
yeah.
you were moving the camera.
Looks like there's an earthquake at your house. Oh, okay.
There they are.
Good.
Oh, that's
Good.
good.
Yeah.
And they look like they're going to be the perfect size.
Yeah.
Great.
All right, close your eyes, Janine. We're having an earthquake again.
Thank you.
That's funny.
All right, back across the kitchen.
I'm going to tell you again, I think your kitchen is just so sweet.
Oh, thank you. It was
It's perfect.
a remodel project we did a couple years ago when we started the remodel, and I had this little tiny kitchen that if the oven was open, you couldn't open the cabinet where the pans were at. And if you were standing at the counter where the pans were at, you couldn't get to the stove. And there was hardly room for two people in the kitchen.
Oh, wow.
Oh my.
And I'm one of those people that when we have family here for holidays, everybody's in the kitchen.
Sure.
So I'll turn the camera around so you can see from one end to the other. So we opened up the area that was the breakfast area, and it's all one big kitchen.
Mhm.
I know you're so happy with it.
It is my favorite place. So
Oh, wow.
right now I have the camera in the doorway that goes to the dining room, and I'm standing in the baking area.
Okay.
Nice.
And across the way, you see the cove of windows.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
lovely.
That used to be where the table was supposed to sit.
Excellent use of space.
Yes.
And then we set it up so there is a table. You see the table over there. Oh,
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, Gail, you're cutting out. I think we lost her.
uh-oh.
The earthquake got her.
I'm still here.
You probably pulled the plug loose from the camera.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I was going to say, I use a lot of parchment paper, but I use it in my shop for glues. I mix glues on it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
So I can take a piece and I just kind of like about 5 or 6 by 6 type of thing. And I can mix my epoxy on it or use it when I use my super glue so I don't get it on the table.
Yeah.
and
Oh,
things
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to clean up that way.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
Hi,
Good.
Gail.
And I hear the buzzer, so let me go grab those cookies.
I thought there was something in my house. I'm sorry. Go
So
ahead.
did I. I was thinking, what in the world is that? Oh, good, it isn't me after all, yay.
They need just another minute. They're not quite ready.
Okay.
So over here where the table is, we set it up that way so that when everybody's here cooking, somebody can be sitting at the table doing something while somebody's over at the stove or somebody's over at the baking center.
Oh, that's good.
And then the rolling cart that I have the computer on is actually a butcher block.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
And
Very
then
nice.
just beside the baking station, I also have a little sink.
2 sinks. How wonderful.
So whenever I'm cleaning vegetables for a salad or something like that, the sink is right here, and it also frees up so you can be doing something different over here than over at the sink.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, you did some great planning on that, Gail.
Good design, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And over on the other side of the kitchen, hold on, there comes the cookies again. My oven door needs some oil.
Oh,
We
those
have-
look great.
And as they cool, they're going to deflate a little bit and get that crackly look to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Look
Perfect.
good.
All right, so we'll set those to cool and we'll put another batch in the oven.
Oh my goodness. You were prepared. So how many dozen did you make last night, Gail?
Let me think just a minute. I made about 6 dozen last night,
6 dozen. Wow.
but that was
Wow.
a double batch.
Okay.
Oh,
So what I was going to show you is, so you see where the stove and the counter is there?
Yeah.
yes.
Right
Mhm.
next to that. So we're turning all the way around. That's the door into the pantry.
Okay.
Wow.
Is open shelves on one side with a counter with butcher block like the other counters and shelves above.
Wow.
Because
How
I've
wonderful.
never really had a good pantry.
Mm-hmm.
And this kitchen didn't have a pantry at all when we bought the house.
Wow.
So, and then turn all the way back around. So I'm taking you a complete circle. That door goes into the dining room.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Nice. Very nice.
Gorgeous.
A French door,
And color coordinated.
which I had to beg for.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah. I love those
Inside.
doors.
Insets. Yeah.
Well, it's
Ooh.
only smart because if you open something, then you lose the space behind it.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Well, and it also helps because if you're having a nice dinner and the kitchen's a mess, you can close the door.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I like to open it when I'm in here cooking because I like the extra light. So I've got
Yeah.
light coming from all directions.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to turn you on back around to the baking station.
Wow.
When we're looking at houses to buy down this area, we look at the house and it's advertised as a walk-in pantry.
Uh-huh.
You open the door, you might be able to get your foot in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it, you know. It's just kind of like,
Mine is true,
what?
walk-in pantry. So because it's probably maybe 8 feet wide,
Uh-huh.
but the shelves and the counter take up part of that. And I'd show you, but I need to reorganize. So
No, that's but that's a big pantry.
it is.
Yeah, it
Big
is.
pantry.
We had to sacrifice a little bit because what's the pantry used to be this small laundry room where
Mhm.
there wasn't enough room to do anything. And the space, and there was a hallway that went between that and a half bath.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Trying to figure out how to get my pantry in and how to get the laundry in and still have the half bath. We had to put the laundry with the half bath
Okay.
pantry. But we decided that was a good compromise.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have company all the time,
Right.
but I use my pantry all the time.
Yes.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Laundry is with the half bath, and it's worked out really nicely.
That's great.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
How long did it
Well-
take you to make this change?
Oh, it was a long project. We
I
started
bet.
in March of 2017 with demolition of the kitchen. And we didn't finish until just before Thanksgiving or Christmas the following year.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
Wow.
Or maybe it was that year, but that summer I went more than a month without a stove,
Yeah.
and I went 3 months where we temporarily put the kitchen stuff in the dining room,
Mm.
and I had to wash my dishes from a pan like I was gone camping. And
Mm.
everything was packed up, and we mostly cooked with a microwave.
Mhm.
And I was so ready to be able to cook real food by the time that month was up.
I bet. Yes.
Or
Yeah.
takeout or doing things you could cook in the microwave, and you can't really cook a full meal that way.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So let's go over and see if those cookies are ready to come off of the sheet before we run out of time.
Okay.
Okay.
I cook full meals using my toaster oven and my microwave. I put the meat in the toaster oven and the vegetables in the microwave.
And And I have a toaster oven too, and it's pretty handy. Okay, so now you can see they've deflated a little.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And for those of you who like crispy cookies, this isn't the batch you want.
Okay. Well,
I
I like
think
it either way.
Yeah,
Hey,
either
I'm
way.
happy with cookies, period. I don't care.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna try to send you some of both,
Okay.
so you
Yeah.
have some crispy and some chewy ones.
Okay.
You
What's
are
the
so
diff-
sweet, Gail.
Yes.
How do you intentionally make them different?
By leaving them in the oven longer to let them get a little more crispy.
That sounds
Is
easy.
that the only difference?
That's really the only difference.
Wow.
To show you, pick up one of these. So this is one of the ones that just came out of the oven.
Yeah.
Soft and yummy.
Oh, looks good.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm
Oh,
talking about.
you're tempting us too much, Gail.
So
Num, 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 num.
this
See,
is
Num,
my
num, num,
favorite.
Gail is doing such a good thing. The calories don't count.
Yeah,
No.
that's right.
Now this next batch, I'm going to leave them a little bit longer, so they'll be more crispy. Let's see. And I do have some of the packages ready. And
Oh,
the
yeah.
Goodness.
bottom of it, can you see the bottom of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little more brown. Whoops, so soft it's falling apart. It's a little more brown than this one.
I see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So you should have some crispy and some soft ones in your packages.
Oh, boy.
yum.
Oh, good. Thank
Yummy,
you.
Yummy, cries my
Yes.
tummy.
Ice cream will go well.
Yes,
Yeah.
vanilla bean.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well-
no, they probably have pumpkin ice cream right now,
Yeah.
Probably.
and I bet they would really go good with pumpkin ice cream. What do you think?
Oh, that sounds yummy. Calorie
Pumpkin,
free.
or pumpkin pie.
Or pumpkin pie.
Baking
So
soda,
right before we close, I'm going to show you something because to me,
baking powder.
we grew tomatoes from seed.
Wow.
My God, that's
Seeds.
the biggest tomato I've ever seen in my life.
And we planted them in the greenhouse in February.
Yeah.
Last week, I got the first ripe tomato from it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Whoa.
And there's about 4 more, at least this size, on the vine, ready for me to bring in.
What are you going to use them for?
Well, my husband takes a sliced tomato for lunch on his sandwich, and we've been having sliced tomatoes for supper. But if we can't eat them all, I'll probably try to look up a recipe to make stewed tomatoes out of them and put them in the freezer.
Sure. Absolutely.
The bigger one you could probably enter into, if we had the fair this year, you could probably enter it into.
Yeah.
Well, there's one that's even bigger than this
Oh my.
outside. It's probably at least like that.
Wow.
Oh,
You need
Goodness.
to take a picture of that and post it.
Yeah.
Please.
Uh-huh.
but put something next to it that clearly indicates how big it is. Because if you
Yeah.
just take a plain picture of it, so you have to put
Or
like a teaspoon or something.
or take a ruler or something and put measurements.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
You know,
There you go.
diameter or whatever type of thing, how big it
and
is.
Put it by a ruler. Yeah, that's a great idea.
But to me, the funny part is I'm picking tomatoes off of my vine in November.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And
No,
then
You're the
they'll-
only one that has fresh tomatoes.
But this
They
is
will-
2020, so it's normal.
That's true.
but they will taste good because ones straight off the vine are a lot better
Yes.
than the ones you buy in the
Yes, they
store.
are.
I'm
Yeah.
going to grab those other cookies out of the oven.
Okay. You make
We
meal.
we turned all our tomatoes into salsa.
Okay.
Ooh.
Well,
You
not
can
all
make
of
a
them.
lot
I
of
still have
beer.
some.
You can make a lot of BLTs with the ones Gail has.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
That sounds good.
it does. Yes.
A lot of what?
BLTs.
Oh, BLTs. Yes, that's a good idea. So we also had a plant that was making the cherry tomatoes.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
We didn't hardly have any all summer. And I've been bringing them in bunches that I can't even carry in 2 hands for 3 weeks.
Oh
Wow.
my.
My goodness.
So you grow all these in your hothouse?
Well, we started the plants in the greenhouse and then we moved them to the garden space.
Oh, good.
And they wouldn't put on, and then they finally started blooming, and then the blooms wouldn't set. So I ordered bloom set. Then the blooms finally started setting, but they would not turn red. That's my timer on the oven.
Yeah.
It's not like we're hearing things.
Yeah.
It-
Yeah, I have to ask every time because I'm not sure.
it's really interesting because each year is different
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
with the plant. You know, the
But
fruits are different each year.
Yeah, they are.
really afraid when we had that cold snap
Mm-hmm.
that I was going to lose them. But since then, they've started ripening on the vine.
Oh my.
So I'm trying to bring them in a few at a time to let the others stay out there as long as they can. And the one we cut into night before last, it was a little bit mushy, but not mushy like the ones sometimes from the grocery store.
Well, the little cold snaps scared them. They
Yeah.
said, "We better get ripe." Yeah, we better get
Ooh,
ripe.
yes,
you know,
ma'am.
too.
I'll ripen. Yes, ma'am.
So Gail, when did you transplant them to your garden?
Probably April.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
And
Yeah.
the vines are huge. The vines are taller than me.
Wow.
We never really had any success with our tomatoes.
All right, here's batch number 2.
Oh, looks good.
Yummy.
Wow.
Oh my.
These are a little bit more brown, so after they cool, they will be a little more crunchy.
Yes.
We even tried the ones, you know, you hang upside down.
Yeah.
You know, that didn't work out either.
Huh.
Yeah.
These
You
vines-
buy the kit. Well, the kit only is the hanger. They tell you have to have the dirt and everything else you got to put into it at the same time, you know. So it's very deceiving when
these
you buy the kit.
vines are sprawled everywhere.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I think it was last week I went out there, or maybe it was Monday. I went out there and we also had planted some cucumbers, and there was one more cucumber on the vine.
Oh, excellent.
Okay.
So
I'm jealous, Gail, because I plant my tomatoes in May, and I get a ton of them, but by the end of August they're done,
yeah.
and then everything starts turning brown.
Well, we had to give them a lot of water.
Okay.
The only thing that we could figure out that I guess stunted the growth was we planted them in pots
Okay.
in the garden space. And I don't know if that's what caused the delay
Okay.
in the development of the tomatoes and the ripening. We're just not sure.
Okay.
So I wish you all were here and you could have a slice of tomato for lunch.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
One of your cookies.
Absolutely. Be kind
You're
of messy.
making me hungry.
Kind of messy. Bye, Nancy.
Not
Me
messy.
too, Nancy.
It'd be kind of messy if you sent them in the mail, wouldn't it?
Well, you know, they do send fruit in the mail.
I know.
Put it in some kind of padded container. I might be able to do that.
Yeah, that's true.
I know.
Usually we grow more tomatoes than we can eat, and I usually take to the Alzheimer's meetings when we meet in person
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
and give them away. The same thing for cucumbers, but that's not worked out this year very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, homegrown tomatoes are one of the best things of summer.
Yes.
Oh, they are.
Yes, they are.
I remember growing up and they were so tasty back then because everything was organic. It wasn't
Yeah.
cardboardy like it is now. And you could sit down and eat a plate of tomatoes for a meal.
Yeah.
Well, they
Y'all know
harvest
that-
them. They harvest them so soon for the ones that go in the grocery store. They're actually trying to ripen them as they are
Shipped.
transported.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So they're not ripe actually when they pick them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem, is that they don't taste as good because they're not ripe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And once you pick a tomato, it stops growing. And so what
Yeah.
actually causes the red is it's starting to uh, decompose a little bit. So you get it's a total different flavor from fresh
Yeah.
picked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Have you ever driven down the highway behind the tomato truck?
Oh,
No, I can't say I have.
Well,
John
we've
and
done
I,
that a few times driving through Arkansas. And
wow.
we
John and I used
highway
to
behind,
go.
and every once in a while you get one on your windshield. Or, oh, hey, there's a tomato.
John and I used to go out and listen to local singers, and there was one back in Birmingham many, many, many years ago, and our favorite song that he ever did was "Homegrown Tomatoes."
Oh,
Ah,
It says, "Homegrown tomatoes, homegrown tomatoes, only two things that money can't buy. That's true love and homegrown tomatoes."
I love it.
That's cool. Yeah.
Have a cassette tape that's from Disney Mickey Mouse that my daughter had when she was little, and it
Mhm.
has one of those songs on it. And I
Yeah.
still have her little karaoke tape recorder, and I got it out for my grandson. And he'll get that microphone and he'll sing. He's not singing what it says, but
You'll say
he'll
it,
sing
yeah.
the song on the tape. And the other one is there's one about overalls in the soup,
Oh, I never heard that one either.
I haven't either.
and one that teaches you your vowels. You're gonna eat apples and bananas. Ate apples and bananas.
Ah,
Really cute, but it can be annoying.
yeah, I
I
bet.
imagine it can after a while.
yes.
But anyway, that's all for our baking today.
Okay.
Thank you, Gail.
Wonderful
That's wonderful.
day.
Can
What are we
I
doing
say one
tomorrow?
thing real quick? I love this program. I love your show. I love the people on it. I just look
Yes.
forward to this hour every day.
Yes,
I do too,
absolutely.
Jeanette.
Thank you so
Paulette.
much.
Paulette.
Let me see
Pay me
if
later.
I can share my screen and I'll tell you what's up.
Okay, thank you.
Yum.
Yum.
Tomorrow is Texas Winds with Sentimental Journey, and that's
Mm.
the saxophone and the piano.
Oh, fun.
Ooh.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, I love it. Yeah.
They have been with us before, so I'm sure they'll have a new selection of music to share with us.
Oh, good. Yay.
Look forward to that.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Right. Well, y'all have a wonderful rest of the day.
You
And I-
It's
too.
so good to see
We
you
got
all.
off to a great
Yeah.
start. Yeah. Love y'all.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Janine, have a
great
wonderful day. Bye, Steve.
Too.
Bye.
Paulette, have a good one.
Everybody
Don
have
and
a great
Myra,
day.
good to see you.
See you tomorrow.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.